Yes. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or perhaps I should say, good day. And welcome back to the new live show from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. Oh, I'm still ridiculously calling the Disco Arms for the new live show, part 54. And this is a delayed by 24-hour show. I was going to do this last night, but for other circumstances. But yesterday apparently was Australia Day. And for years and years, well, the 6 years, nearly 7 that we've been going on this channel, I've been saying I'm going to do some content for Australia Day because it is possible to get Australian beers in the UK. Don't see them at too much. I think I need to at some point go and have a little look at Beers of Europe. They always have some stuff, nothing particularly interesting. I've seen one or two others, but once again, January is really difficult. I try not to buy beers in January if I can, and I've managed to not quite buy some any more beers, like get orders in for the last few years in January, just to try and give it a chance to get through the stash. That's what this show is, a bash the stash style show. I hope you can all hear me. Welcome one and all, as ever. If you're joining me for a beer, let me know what you've got, especially if you've got an Australian beer. I mean, a proper Australian beer. I'll let you off on some of the macro ones, maybe. But yeah, I've got no Australian beers whatsoever. Well, as it turns out, I thought one was Australian. It turns out not to be. It just got Australian in the title. It's an Australian Pale Ale. One I knew was an Australian Pale Ale, but not Australian. And the other one has at least got an Australian brewery, but it's collab in the UK. So yeah, vaguely Australian. It's the closest I could do, the best I could get on with. Good evening to you, Shark. Is it Saturday already? No. So yeah, Saturday. It was a rare stream on Saturday. Thanks for popping in. I believe it's Monday. It's felt like Tuesday all day because I had kind of a day off and a day in bed yesterday because weather was terrible and I didn't bother going into work. I didn't need to. We had the bar open, but it was dead quiet, so it wasn't really needed. So I just sat indoors and I didn't feel right after Saturday's show. It might have been the mulled cider I had up after work, or it might have been that 10% Imperial Stout I did on the show. But thanks to everybody who popped in and said hello on Saturday. That was fantastic. Really fun show. Carried on drinking that Imperial Stout over, I say, with Simo, but over on Paul's channel, Rate My Beer. But he didn't stay too long. So mostly Simo was co-hosting, so we stayed for a wee chat. Yeah, and then I went to bed and didn't feel great on Sunday, but there you go. Things happen. I feel much better now. Feel much better today. May or may not have a guest in today of an Australian nature. We were talking about it for yesterday, and the time differences never quite work out. So I think I might have to do that again. These 3 beers I just wanted to get in and get them in a glass, really, because they've been sitting around too long and they're just vaguely Australian in nature, if only probably by hops. 9. This is Nick the Oostenrijk. Oostenrijk? Is that French? No, that's Frankreich. Yeah, no, not Austria. You know the hashtag by now. Bash the stash to get through the beers from the beer stash. Kitty is being a dick. It's not your water, darling. That's mine. Brilliant. She's being a dick for the day off. I've let her in. I don't want her out in a storm. It is a bit thundery and wet here in the northwest suburbs of London. So let's get the first beer into the glass and see where we get on. Let's start with, as always, beer number 1, please. And yeah, beer number 1 is not quite what I thought it was going to be. I actually thought it was an Australian brewery by the name. Brothers-in-Law sounds like it could be fairly Aussie. Let's get it out into the glass and then we'll talk about it. I'm using a big glass for this one. Seems all right, fairly hazy. I can't remember how long it's been sitting around in there. It looks good. Kitty, thank you. I don't know if I'm not going to do the second one. I thought about doing the second one and I think I won't. I happen to have 2 of these. One by proper means and one somebody just gave me. Well, up at work, they said, well, you like beer disco, don't you? I've got some of these from a certain subscription company. Due to the lack of instruction. Nobody reminded me. I actually remember to do it myself, I think. Do the photo and the banner. There's the banner, brothers-in-law, 5.8%. I'm going to have to check that because I'm going to check the percentage on that because I'm not sure that's right because I couldn't find some information. Let me take the photograph first, as always, because, kind of managed to get in the kitty cat. No! Off Mogs. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I haven't given you a nice, soft, comfortable cushion to kip on. Bless her. But yeah, there we go. I've got 2 cans. I think I'm only going to drink the one, to be fair. Unless it's absolutely strikingly good. But there's no doubt about it. Nicely labelled. Australian Pale Ale. There you go. That's a great shot. So I could put the second one in a glass, but I think for now we'll just go with the one, see what we've got. That's the photograph done. Yeah, so this turns out it's a Dutch brewery, and I had to look this up. And in doing so, I realised it's not Australian at all. But it is an Australian Pale Ale. I guess just using some Australian hops. Let's see if we can find out what they are. Maybe it's been all right so far. So, yeah, cheers. There you go. Oh, despite the fact that we've got 3 fairly light-ish beers, I'm sure at least 2 of them are going to be fairly hop-heavy and going to test the old palate. You know what I always say about that. I think Antipodean hops, certainly New Zealand hops, tend to go a bit more tropical than grapefruit, but let's have a look. Well, if he's not here, then I need a substitute, so you'll have to do it, Shock. No, Mr. Wilson tonight, never mind. I'm sure he'll be in due course. I've started a little bit late. It looks quite on the dark side of pale in the glass. Much more orange in the light camera. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Yeah. Now, I'm definitely getting... What was the new aroma? Not much on the aroma. Initially, it was quite punchy, suggesting grapefruit. This has been sitting in the stash because I just don't really know what to do with it. Or rather, I thought it was Australian. I was going to try and get an Australian thing together and trying to speak to Sammy. It's my fault. Like, time scale is different. Sometimes when he's around, I'm not. Like if he's around mid-afternoon UK time, only on days when I'm not. But yeah, never mind. I was going to say, I've been keeping the stash a bit too long. There's some grapefruit notes. It does feel like there's a little bit of hop fade going on. My fault, not the brewery, I don't think. There's a little bit of piffy grapefruit on the after burners there. It's quite punchy. It's got a good solid kind of hazy body to it. A little bit like orange juice consistency. Touch of kind of pithy orange as well. So it's got some interesting stuff in it. Again, I think there is a little bit of hop fade, which is good for me because it's taking it away from the grapefruit, but the grapefruit is there. Adam, cheers for that, mate. I thought it might be. We said about it yesterday because I think it was like Monday morning, but I thought it might be. I missed him this afternoon. Because I was trying to get content done, but never mind. Doesn't matter. I'm going to do this. We'll talk about it to him afterwards, and I was going to try and get a stream with him at some point if I can actually next month get around to picking up some Australian beers somewhere somehow. I'd say no actual Australian brewed beers here. I thought this one was, but no, it's actually Dutch. Let's have a look, see what we got. It doesn't really sound like a Dutch brewery, and it's all kind of in English, which is fine, which is helpful. Apart from the ingredients, the ingredients are in Dutch. Now I can only say 3 things in Dutch. One is the song "Happy Birthday." One is a song about a pigeon, and the other one isn't very. It's not very nice at all, to be honest. And I'm sure there's a few swear words as well. You always learn swear ones, you know what I mean? Yeah, big questions. I'm 75% certain. I'll come back to you tomorrow. Got to check with the boss. I think I can put it on at the brewery. Got a big screen. I've just got to work out how I can do. If I can watch it up on the big screen, I can do this on the StreamYard. Don't know if I've got the bandwidth or whatever, or the internet to do watching it online and doing StreamYard. Might have to check that one actually. I will have a chat with you about that. Yeah, but we should be good. If I can get the football on at the brewery, I can have a few beers. I was going to try and get a few beers out of Plymouth, but I've been trying that for ages, and I just don't see any around outside of like the usual channel. So if you know any, let me know. But yes, Adam, FA Cup, a little bit of Plymouth Liverpool action should be good fun. We can talk about football. I've seen a lot of football, although things are getting interesting at Plymouth again. I'm still looking. Oh, there we go. No, it is 5. Oh no, that says 5.8. What did I put on there? Yes, 5.8%. In English, it says every beer has its moment, but this hazy Australian pale has every moment. This beer is packed with Australian hops. It's tropical, hoppy, hazy, crisp, and of course easy going, like every Australian, right? Cheers, mate. Well, yeah, that's true. I was hoping to get what hops they were. I'm not even going to pronounce that Dutch for what I guess is barley, yeast, etc. It just says Australisch hoppen. It doesn't say what they are. It's got oats in it as well. That's in English for some reason. Oh, right, I see. So it says, so it does say it in English. Obviously, water, malted barley, oak flakes, malted wheat, Australian hops, yeast. Sadly, it doesn't say what the hops are. I always found that annoying. I mean, I don't know anything about hops, but I would quite like to know. Yeah, that is a thing I was worried about, actually. How I'm going to do that. That's a couple of things I've got to... if I put it on, it'd be difficult to put it on a big screen. Unless I'll just put it on a big screen for me, rather than a public showing or anything, because I don't think anybody else would be interested particularly. All right, so the brewery's from Utrecht, says me looking it up, and this is their flagship beer. It is quite a nice beer, actually. Fairly well balanced. It is crisp, a little bit of tropical going on, a little bit towards the grapefruit. I tell you what, it's very, very much like our beer called Very Pale with New Zealand hops. Okay, no, I'm good. 21st of the 8th, 2025. I think this one will be the same, but I'll open it now. Oh, I picked the wrong one. This one says 12th of the 10th, 24. So I've got two beers from two different batches here. I'm guessing this is the one I got given last month, because that says 21st of August, 2025, which is probably a good thing. I haven't, because I don't check the best before dates particularly. I think I've got the freshest one, which is kind of good. Gives me a good, I guess, balance of this particular beer. And it's quite drinkable. It's got some good sweetness to it, a little bit of punchiness, a little bit of grapefruit kind of piffiness, a little bit orange piff in there, but it kind of drinks like an orange juice. Like the one on Saturday, which actually did taste of orange juice. I should probably then do a side by side and see what the two beers come out like with 6 months of difference in them. 8 months. Yeah, as I say, you probably all know, with 330ml cans, most of my 330ml cans, apart from now Paravel, are ones that have been sitting around in the dreaded Beer 52 boxes I've forgotten to cancel. And I did see this afternoon, funnily enough, that the next box, which I'm fairly certain I've actually cancelled, because I've been trying to get ahead of myself when I accidentally forgotten just before Christmas. But I think the next box, which I would be due in a couple of weeks, I'm sure I cancelled. I have to check that. But the only reason I saw it is because check out Barry from All the Beer No Idea. He has just got a box in with Australian beer. Left hand, I think. Yes, in that corner. I'll put that up if you're watching. If anybody watches it after the event, do let me know, because I'll leave all the links about stuff I'm talking about. So I'll put the link to his Beer 52 unboxing with the greatest respect, Barry, I tend to just skip through them and look at the beers. That does mean, actually, yes, I watched it, and there was one beer in there that I was really, really interested in. Do you know, I've already forgotten whether it's an Australian or Dutch box. Anyway, there's this really interesting beer called Oyster Mushroom Stout. Now, I don't know whether that's an oyster stout with mushrooms or just stout made with oyster mushrooms. Either way, don't see too many mushroom beers. There was one at Wild Beer a while back that I delayed getting, and eventually sold out. But I do fancy about a mushroom beer. I don't know why. Call me weird. You know, I like something a bit different. It's a bit odd. So I might actually. I'd be very interested to use whatever I've got left, £2 worth of points at Beer 52, just to get that one in, and probably a couple of others. There was a couple of other decent ones in that box, but I don't need another box of pale ales, even if it's as good as this. To be honest, this is quite decent. It's got some strength to it, unusually for a Beer 52 beer. They normally come in around about the 4.5 mark. So for a hazy pale ale at 5.8, it's a jolly decent. It's just a very slight, that grapefruit is slightly going into, I'm wondering whether it's coming towards oxidization, but it's not that strong. But it's tempered by the fruit. Look at the lacing on the glass again, pretty good. I'll put it in a pint glass just in case I crack the other one. I don't think I will because of a slightly out of date nature on it. That's a paradox for you, like to take the mickey around me drinking out of date beers. I've got one that is and one that isn't. Pure chance, because I've moved them about a bit today. Pure chance, I picked the one that isn't out of date. It doesn't say what hops, just Australian. Maybe so they can rotate them, so it might be different batches are different hops. Yeah, but it would be nice to know which one is which, even if you. It's not that hard. I mean, it's a label. I suppose you have to reprint it. We found this out when you change hops. You have to reprint the label. But yeah, it would be because we do put the hops on the beer, and I think it's just interesting. It's just useful. Like most people don't really know or care, but the people that do know or care, kind of, would like to know. Beat Beer 52 again. Created a debit card for the order on Beer 52, then froze the card and sent them all me a message. They sent me email eventually saying they were cancelling my subscription. Oh damn! Go on then. I've not had the gall and barefaced cheek to do that yet with Beer 52. I mean, I have had a couple of free boxes, but because I do run with 3 or 4 email addresses for various reasons, I haven't done one with the with the Rasco and Disco email, like, because I don't mind paying for the transport. That's fair enough, but I think the one I got, there are some that are one-off. You get some codes that are one-offs, and normally once you get a free box and pay the transport, it goes immediately onto a subscription. But there are a couple of genuinely free box codes about, and I think I had one, and then I cancelled the other one. I just told him it's my dad. He was an alcoholic. He's not, and he didn't even see any of the beers anyway. And they still give you all that. Oh, I'll get it for someone else. Blah blah. I'll get it as a gift. No. So I haven't cancelled. But like I said, I mentioned it on Saturday. But yeah, another one. Hopefully explain why I do carry on doing Beer 52, because they are kind of useful. Not again, I see from time to time individual beers that I think they're interesting, and you're not going to see them anywhere else because they tend to be exclusives now and again, especially breweries that don't normally have 330 cans, and occasionally you get a good 440. So again, I bought a box before Christmas just because I was using up some remaining credits that I'd got mugged off with, so I thought I'm going to get it, and it was a good £5-6. So that paid for the transport, and I happily picked the beers up, and I still haven't got around to reviewing them or even drinking them. So that's an idea. I'm thinking about doing a live stream at some point, maybe next week actually, with all the beers I never got around to doing videos of last year. In fact, it might have to be 2 separate streams because there's some of Beer 52 that I was thinking of doing because I thought they were interesting beers, something a bit different. Never got around to it. Keep thinking about it. In fact, I haven't done a video since October. I just so many, and I've got 2 in edit this year that just didn't even get around to today. But there you go. Enough for me, moaning. It's not a complaint. It's just the hardships of YouTube, whatever, innit? But yeah, this is quite interesting. Quite drinkable. I probably wouldn't like rush out and get it again because it's a pale ale, and there's plenty of other half decent pale ales around. It's funny that I've got 2 cans. I was given one, and I think I'm drinking the can I was given rather than a can I had sitting there on a order I forgot. Yeah, I think it was a European cities box. I can't remember. Let me just have a quick look. To be an idea. There's Barry, there he is. This is B52. Yeah, I'll put links because he was actually part of a thing, I think, was sharing other people's stuff out, trying to get them over the 1,000. And it was good, both him and Henry and Northern Southerner, I think, and Simo, I think, put something out on their community page today because Slurpy Dave was sitting at 940 something yesterday, and they all put stuff out, and now Slurpy Dave's on about 1,100, which is some good going and well deserved because he's been sitting there on 900 and he produces some brilliant videos. Again, I said before Christmas, Slurpy Dave was like, one of my favorite beer tubers. If I was doing a top 10 of beer tubers, he'd be fairly near the top. And they were also trying to get somebody else. Oh, Don's beer reviews up in Scotland. They were trying to get him over the 1,000 this week as well because he's on about 960 something. I haven't checked that recently. But so, yeah, if you aren't already, and I know most of the people in at the moment, but if you're watching this after the event, go and check them out. I'll do the links, of course. Let me just check this video from Baz. Well, I will do as soon as the share button works. No, it's happened again. Everything's frozen. So as for on Saturday, you can still hear me, but everything is frozen. I hope you can still hear me. Do let me know. The old sharing thing is not working too well. Or is it just, it might just be my laptop occasionally. Now, I tried not to panic on Saturday. I just left it to do its thing. Now it's happened a bit too long. Oh, I know what I did. I did this, and let's see. There we go. Someone explain that to me. Everything froze, and then I went into Task Manager, didn't do anything, and it all unfreezed. I don't know, bloody IT. You know what I mean? Don's 25 away. Long lost uncle. Because they speak the same language. I forgot to mention James on Saturday when I was talking about Scottish beer tubers. So I don't know what happens. It freezes, and then I go into Task Manager, and it suddenly miraculously unfreezes. Right, the reason I was sharing it is because I just want to look and remind myself.
It's Autos January.
Oh, shut up. Bloody adverts.
To be for yet another beer unboxing. It's Friday. I've not long got home. Half an hour, probably tops. 3/4 an hour tops. From Krakow. Great time out there.
Right, yeah, it is a Dutch box.
Astra and what have you. This is coming in at 5% in a 330 ml can. So we've got a lager there in a can. Next one. Right, we got Forever Young. I think that is the brewery, Forever Young, and this is a can of their Slick Rick, and it is a white IPA coming in at.
I like white IPA, so
I'm looking
at
the beers I've got here.
Where's this one I was looking for?
I
played the whole thing. Why don't you go and watch it?
I'm interested in. All right, the Bavaria Lager maybe not so much.
IPA
coming in at 5.2%.
Where's it gone?
I've got to admit, I'm looking at the beers I've got here, and there's a bit of variety, and there's a few that I'm interested in. All right. The Bavaria Lager, maybe not so much, in at 6.9% ABV. So I think the box was 26 box. I've got light and dark. 330 ml,
Here we go.
130 ml can. I think these are all 330s.
Yeah, some very interesting names. Vet and Lazy. Oyster Mushroom.
There you go.
What's that? Oyster Mushroom Porter. Yeah, quite interested in that one. So I might actually go to Beer 52 and try that. What do you reckon? Oyster Mushroom Porter? Sounds interesting. Aha, here we go. Mr. Wilson, greetings. Thank you very much indeed. We're just at the end of Beer 1. A Dutch Australian Hazy Pale Ale. Pretty decent, to be fair. Cheers. Yeah, I'm going to leave the second can of it because otherwise I'll end up waffling on far too long. Let's immediately dash on. Now Mr. Wilson's in the house too. Beer number 2, please. And beer number 2, still not an Australian beer, but another Australian Pale Ale from the lovely, lovely folks. One of my favourite breweries, you'll know that. Good old Turning Point. Can't use the Turning Point glass with this one because, as you know, I smashed it. So the next best thing is arguably the Mock Oles glass of the same shape, and I can never remember the name of the shape of this beer. I was who was I talking to? I was talking to well, not talking. I left a message for Crummy Beard, who did a beer glass special. Good video that. Might link that one as well. Why not? Once I work out how to do it, up there. Yeah, Crummy Beard got some beer glasses in, sponsored, but got some good beer glasses in and managed to do 4 different glasses in a Budvar side by side of 4 beers in 4 different glasses. That was a good video. And yes, I said that that company didn't have the beer glass shapes I want. Adam, you'll do the honours probably. Remind me, what shape is that? What's it called? I always forget. But for pale ales especially, I really like them, and certainly the stouts as well. Let's get this one into the glass. It's 4.8% Australian pale ale. Again, I'm assuming just with Australian hops. Turning Point are usually better, actually. I'm sure they normally say what the hops and stuff are. It is very, very pale, much less hazy so far. I've gone a bit mad on the pour. Certainly a very, very light. Lots of carbonation. If you see that racing up the glass. Business, there you go. And then I go out of focus. There we go. There we go. So it's just in the pub. Good man. Let's know what beer you are on. Me going on about mushroom porters. Most of us had one from Brew House and Kitchen, and it was foul. Is that because it was mushroom or because it was from Brew House and Kitchen? I don't know. I haven't been to many Brew House and Kitchens. I went to the one in Islington a long, long time ago. And I find remember they were pretty decent, but it was a long time ago. Yeah, but I like to try random things, even if they are a bit foul. I happen to think they'd probably be all right because I like that kind of randomness, stuff like that. So there you go. Sorry, I got a message somewhere and I don't know where it was. Did you hear that? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, Turning Point. I've got a beer out. Something to do with the band Bowling for Soup. And I know a couple of guys there at Turning Point are big into their music and like to do various music things, but the band Bowling for Soup is a bit random. I can only think of one song and I can't remember what that is. Again, it's an American amber ale, so I might not bother with it, but because I'm not massively into Bowling for Soup, but I thought that was a really interesting thing. Mr. Wilson, straight on to the ESB. Oh, hang on. Oh, right. Oh, the East London Brewery. So ELB and ESB from ELB. I know East London Brewery very well. I used to. Again, kept meaning to get an order from them across London in the last 5 years and have singularly failed and haven't had any of their beers. But that sounds an interesting go. I should imagine they do ESBs pretty well. Really like their stout. I forgot what it's called now, their stout. I want to say Portobello, that's not right. Night Watchman? Yeah. Anyway, I know it really, really well, or used to. I think that being a key operative word. But yeah, love ELB. Haven't seen that on Bedrock. Right. Yes, as Mr. Wilson says, photo. There we go. Yeah, I'll get the photograph in. Looks good actually. Not too shiny on the can, although that label is struggling in the light, in the light yellow light. Yeah, should be right. They both come out. I take 1 or 2, see what's best. Yeah, actually managed to get the reviews up today in good time, just about. Just touch and go for a while, but yeah, still got the ones from last week to do. I think I'll do them on Thursday. Not sure what I'm doing. I might do a stream on Thursday as well. Got a stream tomorrow that might be interesting. So for you, Mr. Wilson, I may or may not say what it is a little bit later. Anyway, yeah, beer number 2. Let's get into this Australian Pale Ale, 4.8% from Turning Point up in Knaresborough. Oh yeah, London's London Beer Festival at Spoons at the moment. I did have a look at that. I'll see if I can pop into my local. Depending on the weather, I think I'll get a chance tomorrow. And yeah, Brewing again on Wednesday. So although I'll go past, I probably won't get a chance to stop. There is a couple of interesting ones in that. I might have a look at it. So here we go. Here we are. Have you come to sit down and be nice? Not on there. Good gal. Go on in. Go on in. Here you go. You've got 2 cushions here now. Go on in. Had a girl. Good girl. Go on in. All for you. Yeah, on the edge. Right. Windsor Eaton Eureka was great. Windsor Eaton is another one I want to get back to because I've been going a while and I haven't gone for a while. Catsko. She's called Kitty. Kitsko. Maybe Kitsko. Catsko or Kitsko? What do you want? Which one? Yeah? You're just going to sit there and watch. Good girl. Ooh. I'm never going to get that back in position, am I? There, that was there. Just about right. Yeah, anyway. Nose is blocking up a little bit, but there's a little bit more grapefruit. More so than the Brothers one. It's still got that kind of sunshiny smell as well, that kind of tropical thing going on. It's settled down now. It looks much more hazy, fairly thin on the pour, but yeah, nice kind of tropical touch on the grapefruit on the back end. Let's have a look. Let's get it down my neck. Cheers. Oh, wow. Yeah, you missed that one, Shock. You were deputising. But don't mind, the main man's here. You're all good. You should always deputise whether he's here or not, just in case I might actually see one of them. That was oddly fizzy. This is something I was going to talk to Sammy about. My mate who lives in Melbourne, my other mate in Melbourne, apart from Sammy, because he comes a bit like me, but more so, comes from a very traditional real ale kind of British English ale background. He insists that most Australian beers he tries are just far too fizzy. This one has got a little bit of a fizz to it, which makes it slightly thinner in body. It doesn't have that kind of slightly thicker, more pillowy haziness that one did. There is a lot of oats there, I think, so there's a little bit of pillowiness, but it feels thinner and fizzier. Now, he said that a lot to me, but I've never really noticed it particularly. But this one is coming with that little bit of, I mean, you saw the carbonation racing up the glass, or you could have done it if my camera would focus, but I had a Griffin IPA from the bottle yesterday. It was stupidly fizzy. Did I hear that I love this? No, it's not grapefruit. That's the thing. I actually quite like it. It's more, there's a little bit of fizziness. That fizziness gives a kind of sherbety, like, touch of lemon sherbet there. What did I say? What did I say the one on Saturday had? Yeah, so this is like the sherbet lemon, the outer of a sherbet lemon. This one's got a bit more lemon sherbet going on because of that fizziness. Fairly gentle on the grapefruit. Yeah, that's not going to work, kids. Good girl. It's not your time. It's not your time. I need to look at this. Here we go. Straight in. First thing I see. I wouldn't have been able to guess this. An Australian hopped pale ale with the Vic Secret, Ella, and Galaxy. Now, I don't necessarily know them as specifically Australian. Specifically. See what I did there? I didn't mean to do that. Funny without even knowing it. Specifically Australian hops. I can see the Galaxy because it's kind of, funny enough, slightly like that Verdant Shark beer that we had last year. And I was going around dissing Verdant quite a lot today. But yeah, it's got that kind of somewhere towards grapefruit, a little bit of banana. But again, I'm glad they put it. Vic Secret is another one that always surprises me. I don't expect to like it, but it seems to do really well here. Ella, I know absolutely nothing about. Tell me about Ella. Very little else on the information, apart from obviously oats, hops, yeast, wheat, barley, water, of course. Yeah, and the fact the turning point around Knaresborough in Yorkshire. Oh, here we go. 3rd of February 2025. So just about, once again, in date. Close enough. Probably not at the best, therefore, but for me, much better because I suspect with that Galaxy in there, it would have last year been much further towards the grapefruit. I can smell it now. So yeah, I'm pleased that that's becalmed. I know they say drink fresh, but when the hell do I ever? And that's why, because it becomes much more drinkable for me anyway. But it's still got that odd Australian fizz. Nice lacing on the glass. It's still drinkable and it's still interesting for me to go back to try and find those other fruity kind of flavors, that tropical note. I needed to work on getting in date, but well, I'm trying not to get any more beers this month. I'm not doing dry January. I'm attempting to do not buying any more beers. I've got an idea for my first order. In fact, I've got loads of first orders. I've got an idea for a video, whether I get that done or not, or whether I just do it on live. That could be interesting. But yeah, so yeah, trying to get through the stash by doing these kind of randomly themed shows, if you want to call it a show, or is it just me chatting away? But yeah, I like. Oh, excuse me. See, that's how gassy it is. It's not undrinkably gassy, but it is a bit oddly fizzy. It feels like there's a bit of a ever so slightly like spring water. That's my new thing. If something's a bit thin and watery, I say it's spring water, though. You know, it's quality water on the edge. Especially as I've already upset Turning Point. I'm not sure they're speaking to me anymore after slightly slating their mango beer last summer, which I've still got one in stash to drink, but like it's been swapped out for a new model. Who has? Me or you? oh, Kevin. I think Catsko is running the show. Well, she's certainly trying to get involved. She's not actually. She doesn't give a toss about the show. She just wants a nice warm lap. Even though you've got a nice warm cushion in a lovely colour that you can sit on, you just need the lap first. Daft Mogs, bless you. You're only here for the cuteness value. You making me look cute. That's all it is. I'll feed you, and you come on and look cute. Is that all right? But you want the lap, don't you? Bless you. Talk to a bloody cat. Me. Dickhead. Sometimes I think she understands. Usually when food's involved. But yeah, there we go. I don't dislike this. It's perfectly easy drinking. Say, apart from all this kind of slightly odd notes. Yeah, I'm okay with it. It's not one I'd rush out again. I personally believe I personally like Turning Point's beers, even their pales. They are well put together beers, usually pretty good. Just not really my thing, so I don't really go for them any more than any other brewery, to be fair. But when I'm putting a box together, usually when I'm buying either the disco beers or the birthday beers or some of them slightly mad stouts, and they do occasionally put some mad adjuncts in as well. I will often make it up with like this was probably like 320 or something. So I'm like, well, I'll try because you've got to try these things. I don't think I did it just because it was an Australian pale, or maybe I had that in mind. I don't know. We all know if Cats goes running a show when you see cats on the can artwork. I did one once. What did I do with the cats? Oh, was it Moggy YPA from Lord's Brewing? May they rest in peace, as it were. Yeah, kill the cat brewery. Yeah, I get one of those in. That'd be funny. Or Dog's Window, just to do the antithesis, I suppose. I do want to get some Dog's Window in, actually. They're good looking brewery, and I keep meaning to. Again, also Tenby down that way. Maybe March. March is coming up. If I'm doing all these notable days and getting, I should do St David's. Should do something for St David's Day, really, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll get some Welsh beer in because I haven't really got any Welsh beer apart from a can of Polly's, which I'm not that fussed on. But there you go. Yeah, kill the cat. That's a great shout. Bless. She's pleased enough at featuring on the cat food. What's that cat food you're on? It's not her, but it looks like her. The one in the blue. Can't remember. Anyway, here you go. Well, there you go. Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. Pick me 3 beers, David. What would you like me to see me drink? Ow! Wait, no claws. Don't touch the. Every time she does it, I fear she's going to turn it into Turkish or something. Well, if you're tired, she looked at me and yawned. If you're tired, go and sit down. Who else has got cats? Let me know about your cats. As daft as this one. Bless her. Yeah. Say no actual Australian beers. So yeah, nothing much Australian about this beer apart from the hop lineup. And I don't really know them as being specifically Australian. I still need to do that series of beers, of single hop beers. No, hang on a minute. Bear with. Come on in. What do you want to go out here? You don't want to go outside. It's pissing the rain. See, I told you she understands. She just dashed towards the door, sat looking at it. It was shut, and then she looked at me and went, "Sort it out." Yeah, so I have to go and open the door, or she'll wander up and down. Hopefully, she'll just go and sit out in the kitchen for a bit. Oh wow, 2nd of March, birthday. Yeah, 1st of March. Well, there you go. There's that's a fun fact. I'm loving that. A great name, by the way. If you know, you know. Well, we could do some beers. St David's Day beer. I don't even know what day it is this year. It's a long way off. I've got to do the rest of this week's beers yet. We'll think about that one. And I've got to sort out what I'm doing with that stream with Adam for the Liverpool game next Sunday, week on Yeah, week. It's Sunday after, isn't it? So it's not this Sunday. No, it's West Brom. It's Saturday, so it's a Sunday after. So much stuff to sort out. I'm not disliking this one. It's not my favourite thing, and like I say, because the grapefruit's kind of faded a bit, I think I could probably knock this one back fairly quickly and get on to the last one. No stouts today, all light beers, which is always worrying for me, but there you go. Let's have a quick look whilst we're here, because I do like to look at brewery websites on the show, which is better than me talking. Gives you something to see, unless you're just listening along, in which case there's no point. Right, let's have a look. See if they've got anything interesting at the moment. Look for beers in red cans. No, it's... Right, I think we're frozen again, are we? Probably. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Have I frozen it? Have I messed it all up again? Because it's going to be annoying if we have. I need to get this sorted. I've already done updates today, say that things will work. Turned it on and off twice today. I've got to clear out my storage. I'm getting a little bit close because of too many videos. So I need to put them all out of the way. There we go. Gets there eventually. Am I over 18? I believe so, Turning Point. I believe so. Hey, Jimmy the Guitarist. Oh, welcome back, sir. Good to see you again. I'd like a cat, but we have 4 dogs. Yeah, probably no bother then. Unless you get, some cats and dogs get along. If you get them as a kitten, then they'll be fine. Sister versus us, we always going to end up with 4. Yeah, it's hard. Probably hard not to, I imagine. Rob, good evening to you. Thank you for popping in. Hope you're doing well. You're having a beer on a Monday night? No, that's not nice, Kevin. However true it may be. It's not, but it's not nice. So, yeah, just having a look at Turning Point. Just in case I see some interesting stuff. Small team of beer lovers with a clear mission. Brew our favourite beers and have a good time. They certainly do that. We've had a chat with Turning Point here before over on Instagram now. I'll link to that in a bit. I do love their stuff because their can art's good, so clear. As always, like I say, shows you really clear. You got the logo on the front. You got the beer name, the beer style, and the percentage. Pretty much all you need. Like I say, they got a fair few pale ales and IPAs and stuff like that. Yorkshire bitter sounds interesting. I didn't do too badly on the Pilsners either. The oat pale, I'd be quite interested in, but most, pale ales are oat these days. There's another band collab, Machine Head, that I know nothing about, Burn My Eyes. But again, I think that's pale. Lucid Dream Milk Stout is fabulous. I've had several cans of that. And always go back to that one, of course. Their beloved Disco King. Also available in the supermarkets these days. Blair Resignation Jam. I believe I did that on a stream a while back. That's almost pushing Vault City for mad fruit sourness. I never look at the Shapeshifter because they changed the hop lineups, but it's still in New England. Kranakatoa, they change up a lot. They do a lot of barrel aging stuff on that. They've got a mad barrel age program. Thousands of Evils I'm interested in. I thought it was a mint stout at first, but it's not. It's just another barrel aged madness. Second Breakfast hazelnut caramel mocha stout, 12% though. 12%. Mad barrel aging program. So I love what they do. If you remember, they were my brewery of the year in 2021. Was it 2? Yeah, beat Lord's Brewing into first place, which resulted in John doing some mad stuff, but that's another story entirely. But yeah, so yeah, big fan of Turning Point. Knaresborough's a lovely town. I went to Knaresborough about 10 years ago. Some very interesting touristy stuff there. Lovely picturesque little valley with the bridges under the river, some touristy stuff. I hope to get back there again. That was way before Turning Point we're there though. All right, I'm going to knock this back, get the last amounts of little bits of grapefruit there going on. But yeah, pretty solid Australian pale ale. I don't know if it's like an Australian pale ale because I haven't really had one in Australia, particularly. It was, well, a good 15 years ago since I was last in Australia, and I couldn't for the life of me tell you what I was drinking. It was just before craft really was over here, let alone down there. So there was a lot of fairly mainstream stuff and some small local stuff. Couldn't tell you what I was drinking. I'd have to look back, I think. I'm sure I probably took some photos or something. Certainly weren't doing beer reviewing then. I was just drinking beer then. But I had a great time anyway. Don't remember most of it. Yeah, so that was Turning Point Brew Co.'s Another Hero, 4.8% Australian Pale Ale. Down the hatch. Let's get some grapefruit away. As always, much less tonight, but bear with me a second whilst I turn off the mic. Sort out the snozzer for the next beer. This is our Daft Cat. It's all these soft furnishing for her to sit on in comfort. She's gone and sat on the hard plastic chair over there. There's no accounting for that. No accounting for that. Simo, good evening, folks popping in. So I hope you're well. Had a good chat on Simo's. Well, it wasn't Simo's stream. Simo was running the stream over on, as I said before, over on Rate My Beer on Saturday night after the madness of 10% Black Forest Gatto Stout I was drinking. But anyway, yeah, moving swiftly on. Beer number 3, please. And the beer is sort of the star of the show in a way because it actually features an Australian brewery. It's kind of why I wanted to speak to Sammy about it. This one is definitely out of date because I checked a while back before Christmas when I was talking to Sammy about it. I can't specifically remember how far, but let's get it in a glass and see if it suffered. See how good it is. It is an Australian sparkling ale. Since I was talking, since I was talking, he has popped in every now and again. He just popped up in my messages, my mate in Australia, saying about Australian ales being sparkling and all that. But yeah, this is a collab between Track Brewing up in Manchester and Mountain Culture. And obviously, Sammy Sword Stout Beer Reviews does a lot of Mountain Culture stuff. I think it's pretty much his favourite brewery. This one is called Shimmer. It's 5.6% and listed as an Australian sparkling ale. So let's get this in the glass and see just what we get. I hope it's not going to be too sparkling. Well, yeah, a little bit of carbon, extra carbon on there. Going to put it in the same style of glass, Fuller's one, this one. Going to go gentle on the pour so I can get it all in the glass. Very, very light straw coloured lemon. But yeah, definitely lots of fizz and sparkle. Still got man on the head development. What can you say? Naughty, just trying to get another viewer. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I've seen Sammy do from Mountain Culture, all the non-fizzy stuff to be fair, and all the mad hoppy stuff notwithstanding, does look interesting. So what do I check out if I ever get back over there? It was meant to be this year, but I can't see it happening. Hopefully next year. It is a possibility. because I've got people to see and things to do. Mostly beer. I'm going to put it on that side so we can see. Never see the logo on this glass because it's quite light. It's a Fuller's Discovery glass. Can't remember which pub I nicked it from. I mean, where I acquired it from. Quite like the Track brand in the colours on the can. This one is gone fairly minimal with the label, bizarrely, but nice colours. Don't know if that's going to work. See if that comes up. Oh yeah, not too bad. Get the old portrait mode works, doesn't it? Even that one's not bad. There you go. So yeah, mountain culture, despite the amount so many features them, I don't know a lot about them. Obviously, that Melbourne kind of area. But yeah, certainly plenty of interesting. David Wilson's on the Burning Sky, dignified, and Burning Sky in Weatherspoons is an interesting one. Almost more so than Wildcard and Hog Day, really. But yeah, Burning Sky in Weatherspoons is interesting. I did see that on the list. But yeah, so Track. Now, believe it or not, because I don't chase mainstream and slightly hype, I feel Track is a slightly hype brewery these days. Everybody's banging on about them. Some of their gold top stuff does look quite interesting, but I still can't risk that £5, £6, £7 on probably over hoppy beer. Don't think this one will necessarily be so hoppy. Fair bit of carbonation racing up the glass. Funny enough, not as much, I don't know if you can see that, not as much as that Turning Point one. It's much thinner, but also hazy. Looks interesting, but that kind of straw lemony colour. Looks kind of a bit thin and stuff like that. So not too much on the aroma. There you go. I think Sammy wasn't too raving about this one. I think some did get back to there. I think it was brewed at Track, I imagine. Had that beer, thought it was a bit bland. Well, looking at that kind of pale straw lemon colour thinness, I'm not really surprised. That's still got a bit of grapefruit there. Apologies for the sniffles once again. Bear with me a sec. She's fast. She's a ninja cat. I got off the stool and she's straight on it because she wants the cushion. Come on. Bless you. There you go. Come on. We have lap time in a minute. Yeah, sorry. I like to give Brews a fair crack at the whip, like, if I can. So I'm not holding up much hope for this one, which is kind of sad, but especially Track is supposed to be pretty good. So my first go at Track. First go at Mountain Culture, obviously. Cheers. Or in Australian, cheers. Yeah, it smells better now. Yeah. There is a big old fizz on it. Again, that spring water back end. Can't pick out any particular flavours. There's a good sweetness to it, actually. There's a kind of slightly syrupy sweetness. Can't think what it is. It's a little bit like watermelon sugar, and I don't even know what that is. I've got that song in my head now. A little bit of lemon, bit of kind of floral. Fortunately, not a strong flavour. Nowhere near grapefruit, which is good. 29th of July 2024. Now, I believe I picked this up from Trembling Madness. And we'll have a look. I think I picked this up in like June or something. So it was always getting fucking fingers. it was always going to be slightly out of date. 5 months, yeah, it's kind of on the edge. There's some fairly good lacing on it already, so it's not terrible. The carbonation is still great. I don't know how. Well, maybe you can tell me, was it particularly hoppy when you had it? I'm guessing you had it fresh. But it doesn't taste like there's much hop fade to it because it doesn't taste like there was much anyway. It's kind of that, yeah, it's that slightly sparkling spring water, and I can't stand sparkling spring water, or what's it called, mineral water or whatever. Let's have a quick look. It says this reflection series celebrating the beer styles that laid the foundations of the UK's modern craft beer scene. Why are we talking about that? We're an Australian style here. Anyway, our iteration of an Australian sparkling ale, a light, crisp ale with a zesty spritz and a light, dry hop, brewed in collaboration with our friends at Mountain Culture. Brewed, canned and poured at Track. Yeah, it doesn't really say what the hops are. It doesn't say any further information. It says clean, dry, balanced session ale. Australian sparkling ale. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is all of those things. It is all of those things, but it's not amazing. I mean, Sammy did have this conversation a while back. It's like, if you've got a brewery like Mountain Culture coming over to the UK and going to a brewery like Track, I mean, is this the best they can do? Do they not want to be doing something big and special? I mean, fair enough. Yeah, going to the roots and Australian sparkling ale. When I hear that term, I've had this discussion. I always think about Coopers, because 15 years ago, in fact, when I was in Australia 22 years ago, 24 years ago, I was big onto the Coopers. I bought a couple of bottles home because I enjoyed it. But it was, back then, I was probably much more drinking mainstream lagers in and around a fair bit of real ale, to be fair. So it was probably a better sparkling lager. In fact, Rob says a bit lager-esque. If you know, exactly, that's exactly what I'm sort of getting with that kind of sparkle. Slightly hopped lager, but I enjoyed Cooper's sparkling ale when I got there. Jimmy, sorry, I missed that comment. I was in a pub called the Bicton Inn in the afternoon today. Just stopped for a couple. Oldest pub in Exmouth. Exmouth is a place I've only ever briefly passed through, despite a lot of West Country visits. I've never called into Exmouth. I think I passed through it on the way round, but I didn't stop parking probably, and we went further down the coast to Seaton and stuff like that. But yeah, lovely little place. Sounds looks great. Certainly looks great across the estuary, when you go past on the train going into Shiter. Exshiter. Sorry, I can't pronounce that properly, much like Shitville. But there you go. Yeah, great little pub. Yeah, sounds great, man. Good stuff. Oldest pub in Exmouth. Fair play. Love an old pub. That's another series I've got to get back onto. Oh, I missed that one as well. That Burning Sky, dignified and old. A good beer worth stopping in spoons. I'll see if it's on this week. I've got to do that. I've also somehow this week, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, is get over to my other local, much further over the other side, the Hop and Vine, because they've got a keg of very hazy on. Hazy IPA with, New Zealand hops that I can actually smash, because it's all nice and balanced and tropical in a glass of sunshine. But I'm a little bit biased. I'm not necessarily biased against these ones, despite being I have Antipodean sensibilities. Like I say, I've been there a couple of times. I love going down under. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. More so New Zealand than Australia, because there's less shit that wants to kill you there. Still the same weather extremes, but yeah, really enjoyed my 2 trips down under. Meant to go again and never got around to it. Like I say, was meant to go. Well, I was meant to go 2020 for other reasons. Didn't get around to it. I should go this year for my mate's 25th wedding anniversary. More likely to get there for his 50th next year. That's fucking scary. Jesus. No, Kitty. She's balanced half on my hand and half on my leg. Oh, you're a darling. But you are daft as fuck. You just don't get the program, do you? Bless her. Right, I'm going to have to get through this beer somehow. Yeah, that's the thing. We're no better, but sparkling ale is probably great when it's scorching in Australia. Again, it depends. The same. My other mate in Melbourne says he can't stand sparkling ale because it's just not British flat brown pint. But yeah, no, that would be fantastic. I'm doing it at the end of January in the UK. So, mind you, that's the same for all the beers. They're all kind of cold because they're out my stash and cold. But yeah, what can you do? If I'd had it in July when it went out of date, I might have been all right. But no, it's just because I'm balancing on this kind of bar stool, so my legs aren't level, and she could probably manage on a one leg, but she's only small. But it's really uncomfortable. Probably for both of us. She'll just sulk for a bit, and then I'll be done in 10 minutes, and I'll just sit down. She'll be all right, and then she'll go to sleep. She won't like come for a fuss. She'll just sit down, clean, and then go to sleep. And I'm surplus to requirements anyway, so she can damn well wait a bit. It's not animal cruelty to make her wait for a snooze. She could just go on all these soft furnishings and just over there. I'm still in the presence. I'm still protecting her from all the nasty things. Predators in the living room. Bless her. Daft cat, but she'll be fine. I'll be less fine trying to write about this tomorrow because I'll do the write up some more. I'll just bung the pictures up. I might just not do many words about this. I might just go, it's an Australian sparkling ale, because I can't think. My old nan used to say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But you've got to say a few words. Yeah, I remember. I didn't realise it was Exmouth. I knew it was West Country. I knew it was kind of Watford way because I'm just down the road in Harrow. But what a great place to move to be fair. Slightly the wrong side of Devon for my liking because I've got more Plymouth sensibilities. But yeah, absolutely beautiful place. Lovely wander along the coast there now, and lots of good old decent beers and decent pubs. Fair play to you. If I ever get back down that way, I'll give you a shout maybe. Happily go for a pint down there. Yeah, this is sort of it's not for me. It's all right. I like to be I definitely like to be honest. I wouldn't rush out and buy it. I don't think it's the best collab that the two breweries that it's come from could have done. It's not. I can't imagine it's definitely not Track's usual style. I'm not even sure it's Mountain Culture's usual style because they sort of aren't traditional Australian sparkling ale brewery that I get from what I've seen from like Sammy doing it. They're much more craft and kind of hazy pales and stuff like that, hop forward stuff. So yeah, if I'm honest about it, yeah, you're right. It's not really for me. It's just all right. It's nothing off or odd about it. It's just a bit thin, as Rob says, a bit kind of uninteresting. Really, it's sort of something and nothing. It's perfectly drinkable. If it was hot and sunny, you could smash one back. I tell you what it is. What it actually is if it's hot and sunny and you're driving, I'd bang some lemonade in that. It's perfectly light kind of shandy, but it's 5.6, so it's not light in volume, but just sort of a bit light in flavour, a bit kind of something or nothing. Hit or miss, really. I'm a bit sad I haven't got like a big Australian stout to finish off with. Really. Like I say, I believe Sammy would say much the same. So I'm not really dissing the breweries. What they've made is a good beer. It's all put together, nicely balanced, nothing off, nothing too madly hoppy. it's just, I think they could have done something better. If it had come out like that, if it had been Australian Pale Ale, Hazy Pale Ale, probably would have smashed it. Or maybe it would have been too hoppy and I'd still be moaning about it. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. What it is better than is still better than all the mass-produced stuff. And I know, I like these little kind of Easter eggs and these little things that I drop in. And yes, I am wearing a Foster's t-shirt from approximately 1997. We see the Foster's logo. I don't know what it's all about. It's just some random squiggles on a t-shirt. I've worn it maybe 4 times. If I'm going for a macro lager in a pub, especially in the summer, I'm actually fine with drinking Foster's. Like I found the other day, I'm actually fine with drinking Budweiser, because I did that kind of live with our Budweiser clone and had a bottle of Budweiser to go with it, and it was all right. It was not the best, probably still better than your Stellas and your Kronenbergs and all the other kind of mass-produced rubbish. Foster's, I'm all right with. I haven't had a pint for years, literally years. Well, obviously 5 years, probably 6 years. Last time I was in a pub drinking Foster's, and I probably shandied it just because it was, light and all right. I think that's the trouble with the Australian kind of sparkling ale, because lager and ale is much the same thing. The process is the same. You just keep it for a little bit longer in a slightly different yeast. So as a modern, it is very lager-esque. Not bad, just not great. At some point, I will get into track. At some point, I'll be on Trembling Madness or something and see a can and think, oh, well, whatever. Maybe at some point they'll do a beer with disco in the name and I'll be forced to bloody buy a track or whatever. But some of their Gold Top stuff looks pretty good, so I might do it. But yeah, I'm going to sit back and think about the consequences of life. In fact, I'm going to go and chat to my mate in Melbourne over on WhatsApp and tell him, turns out we're probably right about sparkling Australian ale, but there is so much better out there. If you see it, do let me know. And at some point, I'll get a chat with Sammy if we can get the time right, because there's like about 12 hours difference and I get confused. So we never, even though he works funny shifts, and so does my mate, to be fair. So we often are not all around at the same time, but especially for beers. But yeah, we'll come back to it. This is all right. It's just weird. So there we go. That's my completely non-Australian Australia Day beers. 3 perfectly decent ones. Oddly, this was probably the best. I will check out that other can at some point, maybe soon. I'll probably just smash it back, probably on Wednesday night at darts. Yeah. So tomorrow night, I think I'm going to do some plum porter live and have a little talk about plum porter and a certain pub where I first drank plum porter. So yeah, superb. Dave Wilson, enjoy the beers at Spoons. I will try and check them out at some point this week. Jimmy C looks at Exeter and some Plymouth fans and Liverpool for some. Yeah, there's a lot of Liverpool fans and Man United fans down that way. You're a Watford fan. Sorry to hear that. Actually, I've got so many mates around here. Actually, I've got a couple of mates who are Watford fans because I'm only like 5 miles from Watford. So yeah, playing them this season was interesting. I haven't been for a while. I don't know whether I will. Well, thanks very much for popping in. Cheers, everybody in chat. So, yeah, that's it. That's my Australian lineup. Have a good rest of the week, hopefully until tomorrow. Cheers. And enjoy the beers, whether they're from down under or the UK and however good or bad they are. Just enjoy the beers, man. Yeah. Outro time. Play the music. Cheers.